dial in. It's so much nicer than what it once was. All right, so we're live now. So anything we say now until I tell you it's closed, and then you can hang out with me at the end. You don't have to close out at the end. I'll end the stream and we'll be in the studio together.
Sweet.
All right. We are now live on Instagram. Love it.
What's up, guys?
Hi, guys. Love you lots. All of the people. So Chris, now it is pronounced Debord, correct? Am I
You got it first
right?
time.
Okay. All right. I'm just making sure because sometimes it could be Dubois or, like something ridiculous.
No. Or you just add letters and, like a lot of people do, they throw an A in there or an E. It's like you're trying to buy vowels from Vanna White.
Well, and it's funny too, because we all have different like Instagram handles and Facebook handles and these things and that things. And I remember one time I was having a conversation. I was like, no, I saw Debo earlier. And I went, oh, Dawn. Because that was the thing that hit my brain.
And you can't mispronounce that. That's 4 letters. Yeah. It's simple enough.
Not in any way, shape, or form. Hi, guys. We have Flash D Web. All right. So Christopher, Chris, why are we here? Tell us all about you. That's why we're here.
Well, on a Tuesday, August 2nd, 1988.
Not that far back.
Yeah. Chris Debord, Maryland native, now currently living in Southern Virginia, close to the North Carolina border, just south of Richmond, Petersburg area. Been drifting this is now my 19th year for drifting. So, call it what it is. Started in an S14 and started from the bottom. Now we're here.
Love it.
Was military for a while, about 8.5 years in the United States Army. Came back, went to college. Was a full-time actor, stand-up comedian. Then owned a Matco Tools franchise, and then moved down to Virginia. And now I am track coordinator for Southampton Motor Speedway in Capron, Virginia. So being able to do drifting, private lessons, rentals, karting, the lot.
Well, you have another business too, correct?
Yeah, so Toolworks runs essentially all of our drift ed stuff, which is kind of nice. So we operate out of Southampton Motor Speedway, but we also distribute Nova US tires, proudly sponsored by Glow Toad Lighting and Stage Wheels as well.
Okay, all right, good deal. All right, so one of the reasons I wanted to have you on is because you've done like a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and then all of a sudden we're like, Southampton. All right. I don't know anything about Southampton. I know the Chris person, and I love the fact that your color is pink. I'm just going to toss that out there. I love it. It makes my heart happy.
Yeah, no, it's my car was all pink at one point, then it was black with pink graphics, and we're bringing the pink back.
Okay, I like it. I dig it. I love the fact that we don't feel like we have to stick to a color scheme because we're a guy. I like it. I appreciate it. All right. So how did you get into drifting specifically before we get to SMS?
Yeah. So circa like 2003, 2004, I was freshman, sophomore in high school. I was reading Super Street magazine, Sport Compact Car. They started talking about drifting. I was actually really more into drag racing before drifting. And then YouTube became a pretty big thing back then. Was looking at the video option DVD stuff that was put up there. Also the D1 GP. Was really kind of popular. YouTube, cascading, and then the terrible subtitles, which made it a lot of fun. And I was like, you know what, that would be a lot more interesting to get into and a lot more cost effective than drag racing. I think if you've ever spent any money on motorsport, you know that drag racing is you spend a lot of money to do a little bit.
I'm gonna ask you a question since drag was part of your life. One of the running themes kind of through most of the people that I have talked to in the motorsports, that especially the people that got into drifting, is a lot of people got out of drag. Some of it was cost, but some of it was culture. Like it didn't really feel like the people who were really into drag were so into it, they didn't want you into it too. You know what I mean? Like there wasn't like this sense of inclusiveness with it. Did you feel that as well too, or was your experience different?
I wasn't as involved with drag that much when I was younger. I mean, I've had more experiences now as I gotten older. However, you got to think though, drag racing has a lot more gatekeepers because I mean, the money is serious. So yeah, they're
Yeah,
not going to
that's
share
fair.
specs. They're not going to share setups. I mean, there's a reason they're a little bit more protective.
Yeah. Andy from Pop Pop's Garage said we all drag race.
Yeah, we
We're
just,
talking
sometimes
legally, sir.
sideways.
Okay, so what other motorsports did you have before you got to drifting, or did you?
Yeah, I mean, I had ATVs, dirt bikes growing up, which was a lot of fun. I didn't do anything, outside of just fun stuff with that. I had stunt bikes when I was in El Paso when I was in the military, so I messed around with that, which was kind of fun and painful. And yeah, I kind of got back into drifting. I got my Mazda RX-7 FD, took in that from all sorts of iterations over a decade, and kind of kept rocking and rolling, and then got into the right-hand drive market, which was kind of fun. So yeah, I mean, I've tried to touch bases on as much as I can.
We're going to revisit the right-hand drive market. We're going to revisit
Okay.
that. All right. So working for Matco Tools, tell us about that, because I've talked to a couple of different people who've worked for like the tool supply things, more Snap-on probably than Matco. What was that experience like?
So, common misconception, I actually owned my own business, and I was an authorized franchisee, reseller of Matco tools. So everything was mine. I had to pay, to be able to get into it, but I didn't actually work directly for Matco, and the majority of the distributors were on their own.
Yeah, that's fair. Snap-on's the same way. Like, you're like an entity within it. It's really weird to me, but I get it, the franchise aspect of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like your local McDonald's, I mean, they're, Tom's Foods LLC runs this McDonald's. It's a similar aspect.
Okay. Do you miss it?
Yeah, just like anything, I miss pieces of it. I mean, I think it was a little bittersweet leaving. I was almost 6 years, running the same route. I developed some really great relationships. I'd watch people's kids grow up, from, and then they were working in the shop. I was able to really help jumpstart a lot of careers, being able to offer, essentially handshake credit, which is, I think, a dying art in a lot of aspects.
Sure.
But no, it was a lot of fun while it lasted. I have no regrets, not even one letter, and it was definitely fun.
Okay, all right, good deal. How long in total have you been in the drift world?
Well, driving, this will be, you're 19. So, I mean, probably 24 years, I guess, if we're going back to when I actually started watching videos and became interested in it, and then started to transition away from wanting to do drag racing.
Okay. All right. So tell me about the transition into going from I have a drift car to I am a track coordinator. Like, how did we get from point A to point B on that one?
I mean, realistically, it was just something that just happened because, again, I was with the previous group that had started Southampton Motor Speedway back up in 2023. Before that, it was dormant for 2 decades. Like I said before, SMS wasn't actually on my radar at all. I was actually looking at cams out in Oklahoma. I was really looking to get out of Maryland and get a reason to leave. And they had their track for sale with a homestead. There was a 2,400 square foot house on the property. So, I mean, it was live there and to do the track, but made some new acquaintances and new business partners. We started looking at SMS. The number started to work. We struck a deal with the owner to do a lease to own, Dave Atkinson. And we started in August 2023 was the first event.
Okay. All right. And that went a little bit sideways though. Yes. Like something got awkward with that before you landed with the fact that you were full head on your way to managing it essentially.
Yeah, there were some internal struggles, just like any partnership has in business, unfortunately. I mean,
you handled it with grace, by the way.
You can only do as much as you can. Yeah, I appreciate that. I have no reason to cast ill will on anyone. Business is business.
Sure.
That's kind of part of the reason why don't go in business with your friends or people you think that are your friends. People, it's way too messy.
literally just had this conversation last night. I had an hour-long conversation with part of what I do for like what I call my daytime side of the business is I set up other companies, like the foundational stuff for them to like go do their thing. And I had somebody call me and go, I really want to do this thing. And I'm like, for the love of God, please just leave your name on it. Do not add a person to your business. And I started explaining all of the things that I had experienced that had happened, the litigation and stuff that happened. They went, oh, I didn't think about that. I'm like, I know. That's why we're having this conversation. Just don't do it.
Yeah. And you always think you're the exception of the rule. Like, no, but we're different. We're not. It's not. Nope. It's gonna suck. It's gonna get really messy, and
life changes.
It's gonna be bad.
Life changes. Yeah. Tempers flare. Difference of opinion. Like, there's so many things. But yeah, continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, so I mean, things were going really well. We started to have a difference of opinion on more than just one issue. And once I started to see a pattern that just I wasn't really a good fit, I exercised my option to leave in November of 2023.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, so realistically, it was simple enough as that, yeah.
When did you officially get to take the position that you're in now?
So September 1st of 25, Dave Atkinson, he terminated the lease with my previous partnership that I was a part of. And then not long after that, maybe a couple days, he reached out to me directly to see if I was interested in running operations. Obviously, still in a lease situation. I have to pay him, he's still the owner. I didn't buy a racetrack, sorry. And I make sure everybody knows that. But
well, I sent you a message before doing the promotion, and I'm like, so hey, just so I'm clear, because you just you never quite know. And it's like with anything, it's like you get tidbits of information from different spaces, and then you're like, maybe I should just ask the question. And so far from what I've seen of, kind of what you're doing now, one of the cool things that you're doing is this. You said every other week you guys do is it a food drive?
Yeah. So we're working with Family for Eternity. It's a nonprofit 501c3 that's actually in Capron, the same place that the track is located. And they've been dealing, I want to say last couple of years, they've been doing small food drives here and there, but to the point there, literal tons of food annually to help thousands of families across Southampton County. So what happens is they come every other Thursday to the track, and they get about anywhere between 4 to 10 pallets from the food bank of Southern Virginia. And then they have volunteers that come. We've had libraries come out, bring their library bus. We'll have Old Dominion University is going to have their healthcare bus out there tomorrow, which is kind of cool. So, there's a bunch of community organizations. I think he says he's like 86 partners, including us.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, it's just be able to help the community and drawing community engagement is the big thing. So, SMS never really had a great cornerstone with the community, even when it was a circle track. So now that we're able to re-engage, try to be able to let people know that A, it's open, and B, it's a place you can go to. I think it's something that's really worthwhile. And come on, it's helping the community. You can't beat that.
Yeah. I love that. I think that's great. I think that's an example of like outside the box thinking for one, how to support your own community. And in turn, they get to learn kind of who you are as well, too. I've seen a few things where like charities and stuff have been supported, with the tracks, like where they do event specific. But I like the fact that the track is just like, hey, we have this space that's usable. Come use it. I like that.
Yeah, exactly. No, Dave was really, I would say really firm on that to be able to make sure that we made it work, and was really willing to work with Charlie and Pastor Reed. So yeah, I'm glad we're able to do it, and we'll go until they say no.
I get it. So tell us what events are going to look like now for the coming year.
So again, we have our drift schedule that's out. One of the big things I want to touch on is we are rebranding from Motorplex back to Southampton Motor Speedway. It's getting a little confusing, and it's a little bit counterproductive. So anybody who's on our social media is just, if you see it, go back to SMS. Don't freak out. It's still the same content. We're just trying to be able to make sure people understand that, that's what we're going to be doing moving forward.
So is the name of the track changing, or is just the social media is changing?
Just social media. So, I mean, right now I have a lot of my Motorplex stuff. So there was a lot of stuff that the old organization still had control of that Dave, the owner of SMS, has gotten control back of. So now I'm able to reuse that brand. Yeah.
Alan Archer says, my dude.
Love Alan. Go support AMA Motorsports.
Yeah, Alan, we want to hear what's going to happen, because you have a lot of changes that have happened recently. I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys decide for 2026. All right, so tell us what a drift event is going to look like. What's the thought process for that? Because I haven't been down there yet. I didn't get to check it out. I had planned to, and then my van ate a deer, and then the Jeep didn't like me, and.
It's never an easy situation, and trust me,
it's just never a dull moment.
Yes.
It's never a dull moment.
Yeah. So we have a clinic coming up at the beginning of March. That's the only one-day event that we have all year, and then the 6 other events that we have are all going to be 2-day events, Saturday and Sunday, with camping allowed for drivers.
I like the 2-day events. I almost prefer the 2-day events. The 1-day events are nice to like get in and get out when you're local, but if you're traveling at all, the 2-day events are nice.
Yeah, from a logistics standpoint and obviously from a money standpoint, it makes things work. Plus, in our county, we actually can't do anything motorsports until noon. So you sleep in a little bit, you don't have to worry about getting up for a driver's meeting because you partied hard. So there's a lot of things that work well.
Been there.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so then what type of, are we looking at like a road course? Are we looking at skid pad? Because again, I haven't been there, so I'm not sure what you have, what the setup is there.
Yeah, so Southampton Motor Speedway is a 4/10 mile banked tri-oval with a 175,000 square foot paved infield. There are no barrier walls inside the speedway. It's just obviously the outer trackways. We've got 2 media boxes that are fixed, but you can be able to transition from the bank to the infield. Last year we mapped it out, and we were able to do all stadium FD layouts 1 foot to 1 foot. So you could be able to mimic a hot pit as well. We were able to do a lot of stuff from Kern. Nice. I like that.
Yeah. Andy said, "Oh, I like the noon idea a lot. LOL. Let me sleep."
Yeah. Later check-in, later driver's meeting, later everything. So if you party hard, there may have been a fire at our last event that people got crazy at. So again, have fun, sleep in, and we will see you at the 11:45
Enjoy. Right.
Yeah.
15 minutes, it's fine. You'll be fine.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. What should we know about it? Like, if we're going to come visit, what should we know? Because if I remember correctly, you sent me something about a gate.
Well, there's 2 gates. So Southampton Motor Speedway is located, again, in Cape, Virginia, right on Route 58, which is the lifeline between Emporia in 95 to Virginia Beach. So it's very easy to spot. You can get in the front gate. The back gate is a lot easier for haulers and stuff like that to be able to come in. We've accompanied semis, so really there is nothing that's too big to come in our facility. We cleared a lot more space in the rear for truck and trailer parking, and then also redid our upper parking as well for our arrive-in drives, and now have spectator pit parking that can be able to back up to the track and be able to view activities that way.
That's awesome. I like that. All right, so what else do we need to know? What else do we need to know, Chris?
Well, the big thing is every single event on our schedule is going to have something associated with it that is not drifting related. So, for instance, the Sideways Swap Meet, our April event, we are going to be able to pitch 10 by 10 and larger swap meet spaces in our spectator area. So if you are a vendor of any kind of goods, not just motorsport stuff, and you're local to the track, you're more than happy to come and rent a space for the weekend to be able to sell your goods in the spectator area. And then you'd be able to watch drifting from the area, from the spectator area as well, included in your fee.
Okay. All right.
So
I like that. What else? What else are you guys working on?
Summertime Showtime is an August event, and that's actually going to be a dual event as far as spectator engagement. We're not only going to be doing our school supply drive for Southampton County Public Schools, but that is also the week after the county fair that's actually right up the road from the track. So we are working on this. I was still logistically trying to make this happen, but the goal is working with the Virginia Tourism Board to find an inflatable movie theater screen. And then as soon as we're done drifting at about 8 o'clock on Saturday, 9 p.m., having a drive-in style movie theater in our main field.
Okay. That's awesome. I like the fact that you're incorporating stuff that's not just about the driving and like there's like an extra something to do or something else that correlates. I like that.
I mean, looking at guys like Brian Eggert, who runs such a successful program with US Drift, he's doing other things too, whether it would be the car shows, or he had bands at his last Richmond event last year, which was another thing to bring in. So not everybody's a car guy. And trying to be able to get the families to come out, I want to be able to add something for the community to come and make a day at the racetrack to not only, fill my pockets with money, but be able to give them a reason to get out of the house and do something, because Southampton County doesn't really have that many attractions to be able to take advantage of.
Well, and to be able to do something together, because, often, somebody shows up with their car and it's just them and it's, I've got to go home, or, I can only do one day, because I got to do this or I got to do that. And sometimes it's hard to get the wife and kids to come out because the kids are bored. And so, I understand completely. I've definitely seen both sides of that for sure. Are you going to do things like, one of the things that I like personally when it comes to some of the events, and Langley did this when we went for the bash, the US Drift Bash
Bayside
event.
Bash, yeah.
There you go. They had like a table event where you had to like drift up to the table, and whoever was closest to the table, won the contest. And they had a couple of different things that they kind of built in that gave like a spectator attraction, but the guys still got to have fun and just drive their cars and have the seat time at the same time.
Absolutely, yeah. So at our November event, my inaugural event last year, we had a backy comp. O'Reilly sponsored that. We had over $100 in gift cards to the winner of the backy comp, and then we even had a best fail award, and they were able to win some
I like it.
O'Reilly's as well.
So you suck at this. Here's the thing to make it better.
Yeah. Well, oddly enough, he won a car cleaning bucket so he can clean up his act. So
I like it. That's cute.
But when you're talking about doing drift games, you gotta, as an organizer, you gotta think about this from two perspectives. So while a spectator, centric thing, that's really cool. Like for instance, our backy comp took about 48 minutes. Now that's 48 minutes that people aren't getting track time.
Their drive time. Yep. So, and you're starting later in the day as well too.
Correct. So, and then again, if I'm going to do any kind of drift games, it's going to be one game, and it's going to be Saturday early afternoon or early evening, late afternoon.
That's fair.
I don't want to take away from the drivers that did pay, because I've been to some organizations that I won't say where I went, but they did a backy comp with like 45 drivers that took almost 2 hours. That was right after a cold track car show event. And I felt really bad for everyone not getting seat time. So it's like, there's no reason to be able to do that stuff. If you're an event organizer and you do drift games, have a schedule, stick to it, keep things moving, and just rock and roll. Yes, it's cool, but you have so many other drivers that paid to drive. They're not exactly ecstatic that they get to sit and twiddle their thumbs.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've even seen that with days where you have open seat time and then you have a comp, but the comp wasn't planned very well. And then you have too many cars for the comp. And then people are sitting there twiddling their thumbs and media's ready for it to be over. And everybody's like, why'd we decide to do this today? Okay.
Yeah.
So I understand for sure.
Yeah. Idle time at an event is terrible. Ben P from US Drift, he's a hard charger. Him, Mike Collins, Mike Schneider. You talk about the street legal comp. They're rocking and rolling. They're going, all right, run's done. Judges runs are in. All right, boom. And they have a really nice, well-oiled machine. And that's kind of how I got the sense of urgency to be able to run that kind of stuff. It's like, dude, get
Yeah.
these cars on track. Let's rock and roll.
Yeah, agreed. The other thing that I liked about the Langley one was they set you up for the fact that they're like, hey, of course we're going to have the one car lane. You go out one at a time, but we have this party lane that we would really like for you to get comfortable being in.
Yeah.
And they're like, there's a lot of people watching. We would like you to get,
That party lane's a double-edged sword, though. I gotta say.
I know it is. I know it is.
Even when I take the vet out, I'm very hesitant to get in the party lane because Langley is a great place to outdrive yourself and become very familiar with all of their concrete.
You don't notice until you're on them sometimes.
Yeah.
Because it's banked, but it's not so obvious that it's banked in some of the spots. So it's like until you get used to going around in a circle. There were a couple people that ate a wall. Not going to lie. I think there were 3 people that ate a wall while we were there that weekend for sure.
Yeah. I mean, when the sun goes down, track temperature changes too. I mean, that's the other thing. A lot of people newer to drifting, unfortunately, don't know to, all right, adjust tire pressure and, all right, maybe your line speed. And when you've been comfortable because you've been out there 6 hours all day. But I mean, I did it in New Mexico. I drove straight into a wall right after the sun went down because I flicked the same place over and over. And unfortunately, I flicked when I should have flacked.
You French fried when you should have pizzaed?
I did.
RVA Drift Chick said that that's why we just bring the family when drifting. Like the whole crew goes at the same time. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's great. So with the setup at SMS, we just talked about walls. Are there any things to be mindful for with the way that the track is set up? Like if somebody's coming, like what should they think about maybe if they're newer to drifting?
I mean, our layouts are very forgiving just because, again, there are no interior walls
nice and open,
to hit.
Right.
I try to make layouts that are fast, but then also having a technical portion. The last one we did, we call it the OG grand opening layout, which is very similar to Irwindale. So, I mean, you came off the bank, they flew past the start finish line, and then we're able to start getting technical. So stuff could be similar like that. I want to be able to create great things for media as well, just to be able to make sure drivers are getting good shots of their cars and then tandem.
Yeah. That was my next question. Now, and we can talk about that. Is this going to be a track that'll ever have like live cameras or like cameras up high where you guys will share track, footage or video, like where you could just like log in and check it out? Because some tracks have that and some don't.
It definitely is on the to-do list, but it's not in the budget. Biggest thing,
that's fair.
Biggest thing is we want to be able to offer that stuff, but we also have, I think, some of them, on par with Langley. I think we had 4 drone operators last time, which was even the max for what I don't want to be able to get anything crazy past that.
I would think that would probably be a little much.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess I haven't seen how it feels. 4 seems
it's
like a lot,
it's a solid stadium track.
So you have, like the whole football field kind of like concept. I got you. Like just big wide open space.
There's no blind spots.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's a plus too.
Okay. And then you said you had 2 media boxes, was it?
Yeah, right now we've got 2 already permanently in ground. They're right around one of our electrical and water spigots to be able to keep that safe.
Makes
and then
sense.
Another one is our main drain. We want to be able to keep secure, and you don't want to hit that main drain because you'll go airborne and break everything.
Yeah, we don't want to do that. Nobody do that. Just so we're all noted, nobody do that.
Absolutely not.
You've been told don't do it.
Yeah.
No, don't die.
If you hit that drain now, you've taken out 2 Jersey walls already. So I don't even want to know.
We don't want to know how you got there, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
The nice thing is I bring my rollback to every event too. So support and ops and everything to be able to get cars off track pretty expeditiously. That was good.
Yeah, that helps. I had a question. I think I just lost it. Okay, so we talked about media briefly. How are you handling media Do you have a cutoff? Are you looking for anything specific? Because that's always a question that comes up in the background for me whenever I deal with anything. People ask me questions, so I like knowing things.
Yeah. So next couple of weeks, I'm going to actually release my media application, and that is going to be good for all events all year. We're going to have a certain number of slots per event for the approved media, and then I'm going to open up a certain small number of slots for per event media. Maybe people that I'm out of town, something like that. But we want to get a little bit more regimented. The media passes have been abused from other organizations before. And as much as I love media coming in, I'm not having 30 people wearing vests and then seeing content from 4 of them and then calling that a win.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's fair. Well, and only having 2 media boxes and not knowing what the other spaces would look like to shoot from. If you get too heavy on media, you have too many people in the space too, trying to get into the same spots at the same time as well. So that has its own drawbacks.
Of course. I mean, our layouts are also very friendly to media, and the media have a lot more free range of the facility. They could be able to go up in the flagger stand. They can be able to stand on track edge to be able to get, a lot more less obstructive photos. So they have a lot more freedom. But again, I'm all about trying to be safe and, just making sure everybody plays their part.
Oh, we got Lewis the Goat with us. He said, "What up?"
My man.
Gotta love him.
No, he's fantastic. He
lost a whole motor at DOD.
Yeah. I actually got to shout out Lewis and Chris. They pitted next to me at the event in November at the track, and Chris ran that tire machine like crazy. Lewis helped support Chris and was able to help me with everything going on, and we got a couple laps in. Chris Merrill, big tall ginger Chris. Yeah.
I know that one.
Alex
I know Lewis.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know who Alex is, but I don't think I've ever met him in person.
Good dude. Really good dude. Fellow Maryland boy.
I annoy Lewis every time I see him. I'm like, "Hey, Bill, I got a camera. You got a passenger seat."
Lewis is never afraid to give rides and never afraid to tandem.
Not at all.
Top drift.
Not at all. I love him. Well, he's one where he'll be like, "Dawn, put the camera down." I'm like, "Yeah, but Lewis, as soon as I do that, you're going to do something cool." He goes, "I know, but can we do 1 lap?" Fine. Okay. And then I'm still doing it anyway.
Well, you got me onto those Meta glasses.
Do you love them?
I bought a second pair. I mean, they had some really big sale, and I was like, well, now I can be able to give them to my passengers, and they can get their experience, and then I can do mine.
Sure.
Plus, it worked out really well with the drift clinic. I can sit in the passenger seat and click it on, and then be able to look over at them while they're doing stuff and look out of the car, and they can get some FPV without having to worry about their eyes being obstructed. So it's a fantastic tool. If you are a creator, I'm speaking to you right now. Go out, buy some Series 1s. They're like $250. And I use them more than the GoPro.
I'm going to add to that in a second. Kevin Stewart said, "Hope you guys are doing good." He wanted to say hi. Timmy from Black Flag Photography. "Glad to see my VA homies doing cool shit." We miss you.
Mr.
Come back
Emmanuel.
to Ohio. He ditched us for Ohio.
Hey, still probably one of the best photographers out there. Timmy was really, he was at that grand opening, and I still have some of his shots. And I think hold on a second. Let me see if I got, yeah. I still use Timmy's photo for my little sticker.
I love it.
And that's what I give out to all the people. So shout out Black Flag Photography. If you're up in Ohio, hit up Timmy for some fantastic shots.
Representing the homies. Look at that. I like it.
Yeah.
To add on to that, the Meta glasses. So when I bought mine, I bought like the Skylar, and I think it was like the first gen when I bought my original ones. And when I bought them, I bought the refurbished pair because it was cheaper to buy the refurbished, and it came with a warranty. I actually had to use the warranty because my glasses decided that they no longer wanted to record video, and then they no longer wanted to charge. And then I reset the whole thing. They decided to start charging, but they still wouldn't take video. And if I had to do it over again, I would get the Oakleys. I
Okay,
wouldn't get the
that's fair.
Ray-Bans, I would get the Oakleys. And the only reason I say that is because it starts with an R. I don't remember the name of them, but they're the big ones like you would see on like somebody snowboarding or whatever. They're not goggles, but they're that wide frame to really cover your eyes.
Yep.
The
I'm
camera's in the
I'm blanking as
center.
well. Yeah.
Yeah, the camera's in the center. The only thing I didn't like about the Ray-Bans is the camera being on the left. Because sometimes when I put them on a driver, depending on where their pillar hits on that side of the car, you have pillar more than you have their field of view or what's happening over here. It's the only thing that I didn't love about them. They're still a great product, but it was the only thing for my use case that I didn't love. I actually switched from the GoPros to the Insta360s because they
Okay.
allowed me so much more information. I can get in car, I can get out car. If we're doing a tandem, like I have the car right there, I can get some of the in car. Like that's my new practice thing has been actually hand holding the 360 versus attaching it like what I was doing
Huh.
before. And I actually like it better that way. I can't use it at every track in the use case that I like to use it. I actually like to use it with the selfie stick it comes with, but a clamp on the end so that I have a dual hold on it so that I can put it wherever I want. But some tracks I can't do that. So I just leverage it where I can. Kevin said the Oakley glasses have horrible audio. See, there you go.
Ooh.
Can't win.
Yeah. No, and then again, I hear because I got the Series 1 Ray-Bans because they were cheaper, and then now the Series
Yeah.
2. So I don't know if there's any difference. A friend of mine, Sammy,
Yeah, I'm not
she's got
sure.
the Series 2s. I'm curious
I
to
like
see
Sammy.
how that. Yeah, she's good.
Yeah.
Heck of a wheel woman, man. A lot of people see the Corvette out there, and 9 times out of 10, she's rented it from me, and it's not me. And that freaking
Yeah.
pink helmet's pretty easy to differentiate.
Yeah,
She
she's a
kills out
sweetheart.
there.
I like her.
Yeah.
I got to meet her at Richmond for the US Drift event that I checked out at Richmond. She's really nice. She didn't have a car, I think, at the time. I think hers was down. So she was with Brandon and God, I can see her face and I know her name.
Oh, Callahan.
Yeah, there you go. I was like, it starts with a
Derringers.
C. Like, yeah, there you go. So she had one of their cars for the day, which was kind of cool. And I think that's what I kind of like about the drift spaces. Everybody's like, yeah, sure, go for it. And you're like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, at my November event, there was a young lady who had a Z out there and no angle, stock suspension. I think all she had was a welded diff, and I think it was her third event, maybe plus or minus. And I mean, she was definitely struggling. She was spinning out a lot. The diff helped, but I got to a point where it was like later in the day. I looked at her. I'm like, go jump in my Z, my school car, and see if you can get this down, because there's nothing more frustrating than when you're spinning out all the time and seeing, if you want to do this sport, like getting a setup car, go have fun, see if you like it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it makes a difference when there's a place that you can start, but you don't know it can be better yet. Like you don't know that it can be cooler or it can be a little bit more fun because you haven't made it to there yet. And if you don't know there exists yet, it's hard to know that that's the there that you want to be.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm starting the season off with a clinic. I mean, that's the biggest thing is we have the
tell us
private
about
days,
the clinic.
all
What's
that
the
kind of
thought process?
So just like media applications, I'm actually going to be posting up instructor applications for the clinic on our socials and everything, because I don't want to be the only one out there for X amount of people. I want to be able to have proven drivers, some really hard chargers to be able to go teach people. Again, we're starting from learning manual, even if we got to do that, to going all the way to be able to link like a 3 or 4 turn small course. So that's the goal. So we'll have a donut box. We'll have a figure 8 box. We'll split the track in half, and then we'll have a small 3-4 turn course on the other side. And then again, focus strictly on newer drifters. It is closed to spectators. So just, the pit crew is all that's going to be there. So it's less pressure.
Sure.
But yeah, we want to get more people on track. We want to be able to have more people at our events.
I like that. RVA Drift Chick, are you Kelly? I'm trying to make sure I know what person I'm talking to.
Yeah, that's Kelly.
Okay. She says, give them the cheat codes.
Buy a Corvette.
Are, Chris,
buy a Corvette. That's the cheat code.
So,
yeah.
Ant says he needs the same thing. He said, I need that. Andy loves that. I'm assuming the clinic part. I'm not sure if it's the cheat code part now or the clinic parts.
Oh, Andy wants a Corvette. I can tell you right now, Andy wants a Corvette. I saw him at PRI, and he was looking at all the V8 stuff and very few V6 or 4-cylinder stuff for his Honda buddies.
Well, everybody keeps trying to talk him into caging his car, but he's like, I like my street car. We're like, fine.
Nah. Get you a Corvette, cage that, have your fun Z. I mean, it already looks beautiful, but get you a track baby Corvette and have fun with the big boys.
There you go, Andy. It's been decided. Chris said it all out loud. He said that was the opposite of what I was doing.
Nope. Sorry. Whatever you're doing is wrong. Just go get a Corvette, have fun, party hard, big flicks.
I like that, big flicks. Yeah. Okay, so we're teaching. We're trying to include the family. Now you're doing 7 events for the year. Did I hear you say you have 6 events planned for the year?
6 in a clinic. 6 in a clinic.
Okay, 6 in a clinic. Okay.
Yeah. Now that's not to say there aren't going to be other events at the track. Those are just. Can you please? We're going to also have.
I'm surprised the cat has not joined me. I see him over here, and he joins me for literally every live I have ever done in my entire lifetime. The cat has walked through at minimum. So the fact that he opted not to is very surprising.
She heard me getting loud. Yeah, she heard me getting loud, and it's like, oh, we're gonna have fun now. And I'm like, no, dude, I gotta sorry.
Ethan says, I'ma sell my Cam Vet. And Kevin said, Andy sold me his C5 and I wrecked it first lap. Kevin, this is why we can't have nice things, sir. Andy said,
I was there when Kevin wrecked his Corvette too, and I was like, this boy. And that's when I had my first Corvette. I mean, he was a trooper about it. I think that Corvette's now in North Carolina or something like that. So at least it's still continuing. It's life.
But that's so common for drift cars. It's common for built cars, I think, in general, in a lot of ways, depending on what goes sideways with them. But I have definitely seen it with the drift cars. Like, so to be like, I got this shell, you want it? And then like you see, and you're like, what do we do with it? What's in it now? Like,
yeah. Well, I think there's 2 instances of that I think prove very, I guess, for this region was Corvette 1.0 for me was a C6 Corvette convertible that I bought from one of my Matco body shops, one of my customers, for disgustingly cheap for, next to nothing. This is before I knew anything about the Corvette stuff, but Dylan, Styles Fabrication, he built that car. He put a cage kits in it, and it was very, very simple. Drove that. Zach Zeller actually bought that Corvette from me, drove it for a year-ish or so before he got the bug, and then sold that to another guy, Jeremy Ellard, who actually drove that car to his real estate showings with a roll cage and a Corbo, and he had his real estate company on the side. Like, I mean, that's so and then funny. Now it went somewhere. I didn't track it past that. So I mean, that's kind of just shows how a proven car can be able to jump around within the community.
That's so funny. Yeah, it's so funny. I think that's because it's not the first time I've heard it. And Kevin said that Justin has it. Yep.
Yeah, Justin Hart. Yep.
Okay, all right. And but it's so interesting to me, the cycle that these cars can go through, because if you don't drift and you see somebody hit a wall, you're like, oh, their car's done. And then somebody's in the parking lot with a winch pulling the rear end out. Like, it's like, no, it's fine. It's fine. They're going to go back out. It's like, how do you explain that to somebody who's never seen it before? I've seen transmissions dropped and put back in at the track. The amount of axles that have been replaced. It's crazy to me.
Yeah. Well, actually, fun story about having to drive your car to and from an event from your house. April 2013, I had my FD at Summit Point, and it was the first event since I'd moved back to Maryland from the military. And
where were you in Maryland?
So I was living in like Rockville, Gaithersburg area. So, and then I just actually lived near Baltimore like the last 10 years before I came to Virginia.
Fair. Okay.
So street drove from Rockville, Gaithersburg to Summit Point, about an hour and ish for people not from the area. This was when it was big single turbo, still rotary, no cage, stock seat. I mean, it was all, and had the things in the back. So we did all this great day, bridge course.
Okay.
One more lap, and then we'll be done. And
we don't say one more. We say we're going again, sir.
Yeah. Ran bridge course. This is before you go all the way down. So we ran the little up and down and then coming through. And then as I'm coming across bridge, I get a little spicy. I dip a tire and I get shot off course and I hit a styrofoam barrier. So hood's destroyed, bumpers all, mangled. Fenders thankfully aren't too bad, but like it's messed up. Chris Burke from Ryan Downey's. He never met the guy before in my life. He saw me struggling and 3 ratchet straps, 6 bungees, and my bumper inside my car later. I was able to drive down Interstate 270 back to the house. And guys I had never met before in my life, and being able to make that. So and that's 15 years ago, coming up in a couple months, and still great friends with that guy.
I believe all of that because I forget sometimes how spoiled I am by going to events with Ryan. And like, I mean that legitimately because Ryan takes 2 cars. The guys go with him. They meet him later. They don't usually go when Ryan and I go because we have a little bit more freedom sometimes. So we'll go like as early as we can so we can get set up. And wherever we can take both cars so that we can swap tires, like Grid Life is a good example. Ryan's in a car, he gets out of this car, he goes into the next car, tires are being done on this car, Ryan's leaving, his tires being done on this car, he goes around in that car. Like it's a whole pit process. Like he literally has a pit crew. And I forget about that sometimes when I talk about going somewhere. And he goes, but he's like, we're lucky. We got a whole group of people. He's like, not everybody that goes to the larger events even has a person other than themselves. And I'm like, I forget that. Because we're just kind of fortunate, like the whole group loves to go, so we just all go.
I mean, it's not just even grassroots people, though. Real quick, it's so Hyperfest 25. Hyperfest 25. It was
I was
me,
there.
Lewis, Daijiro Yoshihara. And it was literally Dai and his mechanic buddy in a 24-foot enclosed trailer and a truck they left in the East Coast when they were doing Appalachia. And that was it.
Yeah.
I mean, he had Pit and Paddock on there. He had a whole thing, and it was literally just a homey setup. So even some of these pro guys, they'll make the sacrifices to be able to have that thing. So go to the comments. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's actually like, those are good things to kind of share, is because sometimes I don't think people realize that the grassroots events, occasionally we get the bigger drivers, right? The drivers you would know by name, like if you saw them on a screen, like that sort of thing. We still get those at some of the grassroots events because they're local to them. But for some of like what would be considered a bigger event, like Hyperfest or Grid Life, we get to have some of the more fun cars that aren't always at FD because they have other places to hang out when FD's not happening, testing a car, hanging out, doing something fun. But I'll go to the comments here real quick. All right. So Timmy says, Kevin is that guy you can make wrecking a car cool. Oh, okay. I got to reread that. Kevin is that guy that can make wrecking a car cool. One of my favorite photos I have taken in drifting is of Kevin walking away from his Mustang after his front end left the chat on Shetty. I believe all of that, sir. And
he's definitely,
David, yes, I am getting ready for you for next week.
He's got a lot of energy, big personality, and it transferred to that. And he's doing a lot of stuff with the Mustang community, which is really awesome. I mean, it's a really slept on chassis. If you can't get into a Corvette, a Mustang is definitely something you should have your eye on.
We're going to come back to that because I have questions about that. Lewis says Hyperfest hands down. You know what, Lewis? Well, he said best Hyperfest hands down.
Oh yeah,
last year,
100%.
Last year was my first year at Hyperfest because I got into this 2.5 years ago, something like that. So last year was my first Hyperfest. I had a blast. I had an absolute blast. It was a good time. Now it was hot, which I wasn't overly happy with at one point in time because it was almost so hot I passed out, and then that was my fault.
This most recent one, like 2025?
Yes.
There was also a hurricane / tornado / end of days event.
You want to know the best part about that? I had the van still. I had the sliding door somewhat open on the van, and I was sitting on the mattress. I'm like plugging away on the computer, like downloading stuff and getting ready to edit. And all of a sudden, somebody runs past the van, and my brain went, oh, I should check that out. And then when I went, oh, I was like, maybe I should have done that quickly. And this thing just goes flying past my head, and it was somebody's canopy. Like everything was like trying to take flight at that point. But we'd been paying attention to the weather. So I don't think we had put our canopy out yet, or we had dropped it down. It was something. So we didn't lose ours. But the amount of things that flew so far and mangled, like just absolutely mangled, was crazy.
Yeah. Well, Lewis in the chat, Lewis completely lost a 10x20 canopy.
Like visually gone, couldn't find it.
He walked the entire drift paddock all the way to the fences, and it was gone. He can vouch for that because he came up. He's like, "Yeah, just lost a whole canopy." I'm like, what do you mean lost? I'm like, it's gone. And I'm like, well, that's unfortunate.
That's great. I didn't realize he had done that because I remember stopping to talk to you and Lewis at one point in time, and I did catch both of you on the track like a little bit. But I wasn't there for media because I came across it too late in the game to sign up for it. And I was just like, screw it. I'll just show up. We'll see what happens. And it wasn't necessarily hard to get at least something from the spectator vantage point. It is a really large track that they're on, though. So there's like a whole side that you can't see from a spectator perspective, which annoying maybe as a spectator. I don't know. But it was a lot of fun because a lot of the locals went as spectators because they didn't go as drivers. And so it was kind of like being able to have a party with your friends and still get stuff done. It was really weird, but I loved it because what was it? I went wandering the fence line because I was trying to find a good vantage point. And all of a sudden I get up, I walk through like a couple of trucks, and people have their canopies like tailgating right along that fence. That's where the camping is. And all of a sudden it's just, Dawn, is that crowd? And I'm like, my people are here. Who is that? And I'm looking, and it's like one of my favorite groups of people. And I'm like, yes, I walked in, didn't know what I walked into. Well, then I'm at the fence and I'm short. I can't get over the fence with my camera unless I want to be like this, and I can't see it. So I don't know if anybody ever snapped a photo or not, but I'm standing on a Yeti cooler over the fence.
You do what you got to do.
Just getting video as people go past me. But I think my favorite moment from it was Ario Suzuki. I had gotten really good video of him. I didn't know who he was at that point, but I had found him online, did the whole tagging thing. Great. And he thanked me for the video. I went to go get my my wristlet so that I could hop in Ryan's car as a passenger. Yep. On the golf cart, wish I had had a camera in my hand because they're dragging him off with the tow vehicle. I don't remember what went wrong with the McLaren, but something went wrong. The most joy in one person that I have ever seen coming off the track with something wrong with their car. And his face is just happy, and he's having like the best day. What happened?
It looks like my GoPro decided to leave the chat, so I'm not even gonna try to mess with it. I saw something flicker, and I looked over, and I just like lost connection. I'm like, you know what? We don't have time for this. We got to go raw dog it on the computer.
I thought I heard something, but you were still on the screen. So I was like, maybe it was me.
Yeah. No, we're good. We're sticking through
But
this.
okay. So he was just so happy. So here I am on the golf cart. He's coming this way. Car's not running, but he's in the driver's seat, just like chilling. The door's kind of open. He looks over at me, just shit eating grin on his face. He's so happy. I'm like, this is like the best moment of joy that's imprinted in my mind for like the rest of my life. Like, I just wish I had had a camera so everybody else could have experienced it with me, because it's just, who else is that happy that they're being towed off the track? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, so one thing I do want to talk about Hyperfest a little bit is driver or not, if you're within, I want to say 3 to 4 hours of VIR, that's a great place to be, not just for the parties and everything, but just to be able to start networking and being able to see people.
Yeah.
Because like if you try to go to an FD driver, an FD event, it's very difficult to have a conversation with them.
Yeah.
I mean, I was drinking beer with
100%.
Matt Field. I was able to, hang out with Di, Jared Deanda. I mean,
I
I
got to
lost
meet Matt
count
at
of,
that one too.
yeah. So, but the one thing I want to mention is people keep complaining about how much it is to drive Hyperfest.
Okay.
And I want to touch on this from my take, because it kind of frustrates me to see that, because you got to think about what it takes for us to be able to drift there, not drive, drift there. VIR does not like drifting. Overall, I think it was like $5 or $550 for last year. Now, what do you get for $550? You get your spectator entrance for you. You also get one pit pass, which is valued at over $100 because it's all 3 days. Also, you get a car camping spot in the paddock, which is over $100 right there. So right there, you're at almost $250 of value before we're even talking about driving. And you're inside the premises. There's no having to check wristbands or whatever, or coolers, any of that kind of crap. So all day Friday, all day Saturday, and then paddock or skid pad on Sunday. So we'll call it 2.5 days of driving, plus all those other things, plus instant access, plus you can be able to pit in the home. I mean, I just think we've been spoiled by, $85 drift days 12 years ago, and people aren't understanding. Dawn, do you want to guess how much it is to rent Patriot Course for 1 day on Saturday in season?
So I know most of the local tracks range anywhere. If I were to go bigger track, range anywhere from like 10 grand to 20 grand for a day and or a weekend, depending on what you're getting in on. So I would assume probably like a good 15,000 at like minimum.
Yeah. So VIR to rent Patriot, the rental worksheet starts at $12,000. That doesn't include mandatory fire. That doesn't include mandatory EMS. That doesn't include corner workers. That doesn't include insurance that you have to bring on top of that, or you can't just use their insurance. So I mean, Brian Eggert caught a lot of flack over the years of how much he's charging and stuff like that, but I hate to say it, we are blessed to be able to drive a road course on a Grid Life-esque scale to where it's in our backyard. So I mean, just people need to think about next time they start complaining about how expensive that event is, and being like, all right, cool, where can you do this anywhere else?
Well, I think it's tough. I think it depends on, also I think it depends on where your skill level is with drifting as well too. Like, what are you in it for, and how comfortable are you in a car? I think that factors, because like with Hyperfest, for example, that's a big track. And like I rode with Ryan, I rode with Kylie, and I feel like I'm forgetting somebody. But you really needed power for that uphill portion of it as well too, or you were just going to slow down. Not everybody's going to be comfortable running it, number one. Number two, literally every weekend costs you money. Now, we're fortunate in the area that we're in on the East Coast that we have this like really weird like circumference of like an hour and a half of things that are away from us. Some of them it's $40 for seat time for a whole day. It's $100 for seat time for a whole day. When you get used to that, $500 for a weekend, plus tires, plus food, plus the travel, it does sound expensive for the person that can't afford it. I get it. But on the flip side of that, the massive amount of money that goes into an event like this between staffing and the facility maintenance itself. Like, how many times have you been at an event and bathrooms have gone down because there's just so many people using the facilities? You know what I mean? And I will say the common thing that I like between Hyperfest and Grid Life, because to me, they're kind of the same thing. Having experienced both of them, they're run differently. I think Grid Life is run better than Hyperfest was this year. I don't know how Hyperfest was run prior, but talking about what Hyperfest cost, everybody complained about how much DOD cost this past year as well too, and it wasn't that much less than Hyperfest. It was like $400 and some odd dollars for the weekend. So
and
I think
you only got to drive in this small window, and there were breaks. But I mean, there are also run groups, so it's like, pick your poison, guys. You can't complain about everything. God.
No, and I think people have to find where they fit in on it, you know. So like some of the people that I saw at Hyperfest, they weren't driving Hyperfest, but they still wanted the experience of it. And where I think Hyperfest and Grid Life kind of get it right is they're so good at pulling in spectators because of the music, because of the after party, and they're able to have such a big after party, and the music's just really fucking good. Like, you want to stay and hang out and grab a drink with your friends before the next day. I have to be mindful of that because I still have to go be professional tomorrow, but you know. But I'll have one with you. Sure, let's go dance. So I will say I like that aspect of it, and I would like to see like every track have at minimum one event like that every year. The caveat I see with all of it is every track doesn't run every event. They have so many like multiple vendors and stuff that run different events that come into the track. Sometimes it's hard to figure out who you're supposed to talk to for media. I'm like, am I talking to the track? Is this a third party group? Is this group affiliated with the track? Like, you're trying to figure out who you're communicating with sometimes, depending on how well it's managed.
Right.
I will say that I like the fact that for the most part, drifting had its own home at Hyperfest. Grid Life, you only get 20 to 25 minutes of drift time.
Yeah.
And then you could have an hour to 2 hours in between before you get another 20 to 25 minutes of time on the track. Not a huge fan of that portion of it, but I think that's because I go with a driver. And then I'm like, what are we doing, guys? I can't put any of my social media online because there's no internet because there's too many people here. What are we doing? You know, so it's a weird amount of downtime to like really figure out what you want to do at that time. And then it's hot. It's like miserably hot half the time. But let me check messages here. What do we have? All right. Kathy Haynes said, I volunteer as a pit crew. Is someone needs help? I think that's supposed to be if someone needs help.
Drift Mom. Okay. Yeah, she's an awesome lady. She actually helped staff for me for my event in November, and she's booked her Toolworks Drift Ed in a couple weeks. So we're looking forward to having her out at the track and getting her drifting.
Okay, I like it. Kevin is the GOAT per Ant. Met him 6 years ago and finally got to drive with him this year, and changed that to last year. Lewis, based on the previous Mustang conversation, said never seen again. RIP to that bumper or front end.
No, RIP to his canopy that he lost.
To Lewis's canopy.
Yeah.
LSX46, Chris, my man, is a rock star. You are apparently a rock star, Chris.
So he's part of the Russian, and that's, I guess, talking more about meeting people outside of drifting. I went and I did an event.
I love it.
I went and did an event in New Jersey, the Drift King Battled USA. When Keiichi Tsuchiya, DK himself, came over to America to judge a competition up in Wall, New Jersey. Last time I was actually at Wall, the Wall Stadium. Last time I was there was my first drift event in 2006, where I got to see, Ken Gushi and, my idol and stuff like that. So it'd been almost 20 years since I had been to that event or that track, but it was a good time. But he was a guy that we rolled up Friday night, I think it was, or Thursday night, whatever it was, and he was already there, pitted. He was a local to New Jersey, and he came over to my trailer, helped me unload. We just started nonsense talking. His people were there and drinking and eating, and we became best friends afterwards. And I saw he cruised for Dimitri Bruschi on FD. So I saw him again when I was at E-Town, and we hung out and had friends. And that was the second time I'd seen the man in real life, period. And it was like we'd known each other for a decade. So shout out my Mad Russian.
That is Rachel from Ignition Speed. She is my person. Like,
I love Rachel.
We just kind of met each other online, and I'm like, oh my God, I love her. She's like, I love you. I was like, all right, well, we're people now. We're friends now. Like, I messaged her something the other day, and then she messaged me because we do the whole meme thing back and forth. I was like, girl, you're stuck with me. It's in the contract. She's like, I knew what I signed. I'm like, all right, check in. He said that LOL, that shit was a joke, but the vibe was crazy.
Yeah, no comment. I did my video on that, and I don't need to go back to it. He signed my steering wheel and my comp car. The Drift King signed my steering wheel, so that was probably the highlight of that entire weekend. And then went to Fuel Fest. What was it? The weekend after. I left my rig and everything, and I rented a car, drove back to Virginia, and then drove back up, and then made like $2,200 in ride along and merch in 6.5 hours. So,
wow.
Yeah, I got a platform. Let's talk about it.
All right. Hang on. Hold it. He said Rachel was actually there that night at Wall in New Jersey. And
Rachel was there. Yeah.
And then Yokai Kaizen JP, Chris Debord, he hearts you.
Rock on, guys. Rock on. Yeah.
All right. Talk about ride-alongs, because I have a feeling that's where this is going.
Yeah. So Aaron Losi, for those of y'all don't know, Aaron Losi runs Fuel Fest. All the drifting related, all the stuff in the area. Obviously, he's out of Texas, so they're a big thing. He posted something, I want to say like last week or the week before, about doing ride-alongs at that event. And it was $100 per lap per person.
Okay.
For reference, last year it was $150 per ride at Hyperfest. So let's get some context. So Aaron, and then his comment blew up about, why are you charging for ride-alongs? Blah blah blah, this and that. So
it's a very mixed bag. A lot of people don't like it. A lot of drifters don't like charging for it.
So, now here's my thing. It was me in my G35. It was Alex Licklider in his FD car, and it was Lewis in his GTO at Fuel Fest, New Jersey.
Okay.
These are not NA 350Zs on cut springs.
Of course.
I mean, we had we had Rachel was helping us out. I had a merch girl there too. So we were running merch stands. I had Dylan from Styles. He was running, people in and out of my car. So, and I will say Thunderhill Circuit is comparable to VIR as far as it was a full or even running, if you run all of Shenandoah Circuit. So like all three, if you ran the entire course, pistol grip, bridge,
I got you.
and D-loop all at one time, that's what we were doing for one lap.
Okay.
And I mean, you had a lot of other guys.
How quickly were you going through tires?
I got 3 laps.
Okay. So 3 laps per run.
Yeah, so I went through 5 sets. So what's that? 10 tires at blah blah blah. I mean, this was I was still okay with Zek Nova. So I mean, like call it $2,000 in tires.
So that's 6. Well, and that's what, 16 laps. You said you went through 5 sets of tires. That's 16 laps. Okay.
Yes, and the only reason why I only went through 5 because I broke on
15 laps.
Yeah, I broke on the 16th lap, and we didn't complete that. And I refunded the guy, but I charged $100 a lap, and people that I knew were charging $20 a lap. And again, I hate to say it, but I think anybody can look at cars that are built to my level, Alex's level, Lewis's level, and I mean, you're talking probably $60,000 to $100,000 invested. Not to mention, I mean, I think I spent, even if I didn't leave my toter in New Jersey, between the hotel the night before, the hotel that night, because I'm not leaving New Jersey and going home, gas, fuel, tires. I mean, it was a solid $3,500 weekend, no doubt.
Sure.
So anything to put a dent in that. Now, I will say this: if I had the freaking school 350Z, I wouldn't have been charging $100 a lap. You know, it was experience. But you get the comp car, the seat belts, the roll cage. I mean, outside of fire suppression, my car passes, pro spec.
Right.
So it's that thing. And plus, I mean, I like to push it a little harder. We had the 3 or what did I have in there? Yeah, I had a 409 in there. So we were doing fourth gear pulls. I mean, it was an experience. And I think that people need to be able to see, all right, okay, if you're going to have an event where you charge, that's what the event is. And everyone was okay with it. That's the other thing. I don't expect people to charge for ride-alongs at my track. Like, I mean, that doesn't seem, smart.
But that was going to be my point, and kind of what you're talking about is, I think it depends on the event. I think it depends on the cars, and I think it depends on your spectators. So I think an average everyday seat time day, nobody's charging for a ride along. I mean, unless they really, really don't want anybody in that seat, to be honest, other than their bestie, then they might, just to see if somebody goes away or see if they make money off of it. I think where the rub comes in for a lot of drivers is, one, some people don't even want to do ride-alongs. They're not there for other people. And then two, that one of the biggest complaints that I get, because that's the thing, I get all the feedback. Like, I get all the people like, like they're grumbling about the thing. And I'm like, I'll try to help with the thing, but I don't have any control over the thing. One of the biggest complaints is how people manage the ride-alongs. So they want you to take a ticket that's like this big and hang on to it in a drift car that has no windows, and hope that you can find it later to turn it in. So it depends on how it's managed, I think, makes a difference too. Because Nate charges for merch. You buy a t-shirt for $125 and then you get in the passenger seat. Mm-hmm. So, it's like, I think it's to each their own. I think it's tough when the event tells you how it's going to go, is when people have a tendency to get their hindquarters up a little bit.
I mean, at that point though, you just say, hey, I'm not doing rides. And you don't have to opt into the program. I don't think it's fair that they get to be the gatekeepers to have a say of whether it happens or not. Like, I hate to say it, I don't enjoy driving clean culture events. However, I know that I'm able to offset. I'm able to offset some of my costs for going, just because it's 30 minutes up the road. I can take my seat time car. I don't have to worry about crazy amount of tires and stuff like that, and I can give rides because I know it's going to be a spectator heavy event.
Right.
And I don't like doing solo laps, whether it be tandem or without a passenger. I just don't like driving on the track by myself. It's super boring. I've been doing this for almost 20 years. I want to be able to experience. Like, I'm very blessed. I had 3 people so far that after I've given a ride to have already let me know that they have bought a drift car, and they're kind of, sending me progress. Again, we want to grow the sport.
Well, that's one of the conversations Ryan Downey and I have often, because when we did Grid Life, I did a series of having a conversation with the ride-alongs after, because he loves giving ride-alongs. He will give ride-alongs all day, 8 hours for the whole day. He'll just keep running if somebody keeps replacing tires. Absolutely. And but he's also one of the ones where he doesn't care about the money aspect, because his thought process on it is, I'm already going to be there anyway. I already planned to spend that money because I had planned to go have a good time. And if I can give that experience to somebody so that they can drive next to me next year, kind of like to your point, it's like, we want to expose people to it because we want them to come out, have a good time, see if they like it, and join in on the fun, right? So it's such a mixed bag. You are not the first person who mentioned something about clean culture. I had a couple of like DMs in the background. I had posted something recently because when stuff comes across my feed, I'll share it. We're all in the same boat, right? Until I know for sure something is toxic and a problem, sure, I'll share it until I find a reason not to. And I had a couple people DM me and they're like, so, hey, not everybody really likes them all that much for XYZ reason. The ride-alongs was part of that conversation. And there were a couple of people that were concerned about how funds were handled, I think, as well, too, was a concern with whether it was accurate. So I can't speak to it. It's not my information, but it was just information in the background to me. And then what is LSX? What is his actual name?
I call him Ivan because Vorvshik is not an easy thing to be able to repeat.
Ivan would like to know, Chris, when are you actually going to invite me to drive at your track?
Listen, hey, everyone is welcome to be able to drive as long as you're 16 years of older with parent and have a driver's license, and obviously 18 years you don't need an individual. He just wants to get invited to my house to be able to drink vodka in my garage and work on my cars, and we mess things up, and then we have to fix it later. So that don't get it twisted. He's a beautiful manipulator in the wonderful ways, and I say that wonderful. I miss you, brother. I really do.
Ivan, zdravstvuyte. You're welcome anytime.
Yeah, front door's open for him.
So basically, Ivan, after this, DM him, do the thing, just show up, okay?
He has my home address. If I see a car trailer in the front yard, I know he shows up. So he's more than welcome to swing by. So
okay, all right. Feel like we have it all covered now. He said whiskey, Chris, whiskey, no vodka.
And see, yeah. Again,
ruined it already.
He was the first person I saw in the longest that actually had ribeye steaks every night at a drift event. And he's like, no, we eat steak. Because I was going to DoorDash food to the track. He's like, no, we eat steak. And I'm like, all right, I'm not going to argue.
Ivan, you sound like my kind of guy. I need to meet you at whatever track event. Just so that I know what Ivan looks like with the whiskey and the ribeyes.
Yeah. He's a good dude. And then it was a good time. It was a good time.
Well, to go back to how you met Ivan, that was kind of like the first grid life I went to with Ryan was Midwest Fest. Mm-hmm. And out of all the grid lives I went to, Midwest Fest was my favorite. I think Lime Rock was Ryan's favorite because he really likes the track at Lime Rock.
Yeah.
And Midwest Fest I liked because of the way that event was set up. They had to do karaoke for Lime Rock because they can't do the big stage at Lime Rock. They're not allowed to because of whatever their noise ordinance or whatever is there.
Right.
And but when we got to Midwest Fest, Ryan and I showed up together. It's me, him, and his dad. We've got the golf cart. If I remember correctly, we had Tucker with us. I don't remember if Tucker came the next day. I feel like he came the next day. I think we all went up originally. But Ryan and I are with Ignition Speed, and Ignition Speed's got the cars set up in the grass because they want to take pictures. And I'm like, I don't want to take pictures there. This is all you guys. You guys do your thing. Love you. Ryan and I disappeared for like an hour and a half. Because what happened was we had these two guys come up. They walked up, started talking to us, and they were part of the spectators, and they go every year. So we're asking all these questions because we want all the details and information. And Ryan goes, hey, the keys are in the golf cart. I'm going to hop in the back. You drive. This guy drove us around. Him and his friend drove us around in the golf cart. I'm shotgun. We're like, where are we going? All right, this is cool. All right, so this is the place. This is where you're camped. We'll be here later. Yeah, it's fine. So I ended up learning. I found a new drink that I liked that I had never tried before that I can't find anywhere locally. And it was just, we made new friends that day. You know what I mean? So like, I get it. It's like sometimes you make like that instant friendship, and sometimes you're just trying to survive the event.
Yeah, I've been on both sides of that for sure. This last Hyperfest, I partied a little bit too hard certain times, and between I get my car broke, so and that's the other thing too. Like case in point, see Carolina Motorsports Park. I did the Drift HQ 4th of July event. That was awesome time. I exploded my subframe, blew both my axles, and ripped the diff out of my car. And at the end of the first day, no, it was fine. It was fine. And then I jacked the car up, and I'm like, well, it's 5 o'clock. I can drive 5 hours home, or I can party, do the flip cup, and do all that kind of stuff, and then drive home the next day, and then take it easy. So it's like trying to find the best. Same thing with DOD. I broke the car again at DOD. And then Friday and Saturday night, I went. So Saturday night, I got in trouble at DOD.
Okay.
I went to the little I went to the s'mores thing, the campfire.
Okay.
Whatever.
Yeah, I was there. What I miss?
So no, that was fine. It was Sharon and Lyron from Upsor.
LaRon and Shar.
Yeah. Anyways. Team Upsor, as everyone knows, Upsor Drift. Make sure to follow them if you're not already. I saw them, and they had their Suburban that they rented just because they wanted to go to and from, stuff.
Did LaRon feed you alcohol?
No. So I had maybe one alcohol at least.
Okay.
And I was wearing my Buc-ee's onesie the whole night.
Yeah.
I remember that. And then it was like 10 o'clock, and they're like, all right, we're going back. And then I rode on the side of the Suburban over bridge course like I was an ice agent, get ready to storm something. And I'm like, it's cold. And then I go in, and then 10 minutes later I get a text that people are going to the casino, and I jump in the Uber for that, and then I'm at the casino, and then I get asked to leave the casino.
Because you had the Buc-ee's outfit on?
No, I wore shirts and pants. This is a professional.
Okay.
Yeah. West Virginia casino, very professional.
Sure.
Shar was not happy with me because she thought she tucked me in. She thought I was done, and I snuck out. So
proved her wrong.
I did. And yeah, she was not happy. But again, I broke the car. I didn't care. I got to drive back.
Right.
Sammy, she broke her car too. So, I mean, we were able to convoy, make sure everybody was okay. It's more fun that way too.
Well, but I mean, that's kind of it. It's kind of, and I'll use Ryan as an example. Whenever we go to any of these events, he takes both cars. And his reasoning for taking both cars is if one breaks, he can still enjoy the rest of his weekend potentially. He doesn't have to run to go find the part to fix the car that broke. He might, because he still wants to drive that one and we can source it quickly. But that second car is so that if he's paid that kind of money to be there, he wants to drive the whole weekend, and he's prepared to drive the whole weekend. So that I get it. It's like you make the best of whatever happens. That's why I always love when people fix things on the spot. Or my favorite is when somebody goes, hey, you have a BMW. Do you have an axle or a tie rod? And they'll be like, yeah, so go in my trailer, the left corner by the blue toolbox.
Yep.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. Well, I have a 2-car trailer. It only has room for tires. It doesn't have room for a lot of other stuff. And I have, like, if I take the G, I need to bring at least 20 gallons of fuel. So that's 4 fuel cans. So I need to find a place for that. So it's something I'm working about, but now everything with the track, we've got a super packed schedule, and I'm on a pro spec team this year as well. So it's like running around with that I'm good. Yeah. I'm good.
Yeah. So Ryan's trailer is so packed that they take the steering wheel off the golf cart. They put ramps to the piece that the gooseneck portion, so they can push the golf cart up into the upper container area where you would sleep technically, or put storage, so that they can put one car in, strap it down, put the next car in and strap it down. And like,
And
you
it's
can
just
barely
barely,
get around the cars to be able to get the straps off, to get the cars off. It's crazy the amount of prep that has to happen, you know, for both cars to go and to be able to get around the track at the same time too. Because that's the reason they take the golf cart, is because you almost have to have something, because some of these tracks are massive. And even for media, when we did Lime Rock, I'm hoofing it in like 100-degree weather or 90-degree weather. He's got to get to where he has to get to on track, and I have to get the car cameraed. Then I have to go get in a spot in the infield so I can capture footage. But I have to run over there because they need the golf cart for tires and the pit crew. So I eventually found a free 99 is what we will call it, scooter. Somebody didn't know how to replace, I guess, the tire that they broke or popped or something. And they literally left it like pretty much brand new electric scooter by my dumpster. And I'm like, I have questions. So I brought it home, had a friend who had scooter parts. So for $20 to buy the charger, I had a $400 scooter because somebody didn't know they could replace a tire.
You can't beat that.
Yeah, you know, so it's just, well, I refer to myself as a redneck engineer because, like, that's how I grew up, was like, you do what you can with what you got because you don't got much. So when you grow up poor, you learn how to figure it out really quickly. I do want to say, Ivan said, we meet at Chris Track, first event. I'll bring the new comp car and we party and grill some good steaks. I mean, Ivan, that's the best invitation I've had to a party in a long time. I will be there. I don't know when that is yet. Chris will tell me, but I will be there.
For sure. Yeah, he's I see him building that car piece by piece. I know he's working hard on it. Chernobyl Drift Crew, if you want to follow their progress. It's super great team.
That's awesome. I'll look into that when we get off of here. And Lewis said 2 cars is genius, right? It's like, you don't think about it, but you think about it. You know what I mean? And it's like, so if you have the ability to wrench on 2 cars like Ryan does, because he's got so much experience in like all the motorsport spaces.
Yep.
I've never met a person that's literally had their hand in almost every portion of cars, whether that's been fabrication, auto body work, engine, maintenance, road racing, rallycross. I mean, you name it, he's at least tried it once. And it's just so crazy to me, the amount of things that he has done in like the lifetime he's been given so far. It's crazy. Him and his dad both.
Yeah. And a lot of that transfers into drifting really easily. A lot of people even say, like, you know, I don't know how to get into drifting. It's like, well, you can take skills from other forms, not even motorsport, to be able to be a good drifter. So that's kind of why when it came time to, okay, are we going to do a rental car program, or are we going to do an instructional thing? It's like, why not, when we can have all this space to be able to use it and that kind of stuff. So if you're thinking about it, just get into drifting. It's the cheapest form of motorsport to start off in, and then you scale in your own way and you have fun doing it.
Yeah. Well, and you were talking about like the fact that like you drove your drift car to an event. That's actually really common in the beginning when people first start doing it. I had a conversation earlier this evening. I was talking to Devin Hoyt, and you guys in your Instagram handles, Yo Hot Boy, whatever comes after it. And he's one of those people that has like 4 cars. When I met him initially, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. There's Devin's car. And then I'm like, oh, I really like that car, only to find out after the 2-day event that it was also Devin's car. And I'm trying to get him to come down to Richmond this weekend. We had, it starts with a Y, the person JP that's running the practice event this weekend at Richmond. I was like, just come down to Richmond, because he was talking about cabin. I was like, just come down to Richmond on Saturday. I was like, there's a bunch of us that'll be there. He's like, yeah, but it's 3 hours. Get a trailer. Get a trailer. Stop it. Sell a car and get a trailer. To anybody who's watching,
U-Haul's
sell a car and get a
U-Haul's
trailer.
$55. You know, I mean, if
Right?
rent a truck and trailer, it's not that bad. But I mean, the thing is though, is you're also not going to drive your hardest if you know you have to drive your car home.
Exactly.
And especially when you're talking about like tandeming with people and wanting to be able to progress, it's like, and
Yep.
you have to drive home in it, or you have to be able to make it to work the next day in it, or something like that. There's going to be a level to where your progression is kind of capped, just because of physical limitations like that.
Yeah, and Andy said drifting is only as expensive as you want it to be. And I think that goes back to what we were talking about earlier, like when it comes to events and what you spend on events. If you just want to party with the homies for a day, go to the grassroots spot and go party with the homies for the day. You don't have to have a whole weekend at a huge event just to say that you were at the huge event. You don't have to do it. It's like, do it at your pace and your wallet. That's the reason I haven't picked it up. I know I can't afford it. With all the camera gear that I buy, like I can't afford a car too. Now, I will say this year my plan is at some point in time, because I'm going to vlog more this year and like talk about the events a little bit more this year. Some point in time, I've been offered several cars to try it, like to do it for like a 101 or whatever. And I will do at least one of those this year so that I can do the whole like media spiel thing that goes along with it to talk about the experience. But I don't foresee myself like getting into it at this point because I see how much you guys spend. I don't have a garage, which would mean I'd have to take it somewhere and it'd have to have all the friends that are going to hate me eventually. Like it's just, it doesn't make sense. I love driving. And I remember all the illegal stuff that I used to do that I'm not allowed to do because there's video cameras now. So it's fine. I had my experience and it's okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, so if you take from like September 2024 until November 2025, I drove at least 20 events. That's on top of I judged 4 rounds of CMD's series. I did an announcer spot at South Boston. 2 of those events, one of them was in South Carolina. Another one was in Atlanta at a T-Pain event. I drove to Albuquerque, New Mexico from Richmond and back. That was 7 full days, in itself. So, I mean, like I was very blessed to be able to have that travel opportunity with, the businesses I was running, but at the same time, I don't want to tell you how much it cost because it
fuel, lodging, all of it.
Yeah, well, I picked up the toter, and picking up the toter was without a doubt probably the greatest investment into my program.
100%.
Mainly because you got no excuse of missing driver meetings when you're sleeping at the track. You are able to sleep in the toter on the way there, so you're safe. If you have like multi-state stuff, you have to worry about stuff. Plus, there's room for there's 2 queen size futons that come down, so it sleeps 4. So you have that option as well. There's a bathroom in it, so that propelled me to want to go and do the out of state stuff. That was the whole reason why I got it. And now I have somewhere to sleep at the track.
Yeah, that's relatable. I mean, everybody always commented on my little ass van, my little cargo van that I always rolled around in. But I'm like, look, I can sleep here. I got snacks in it. All my camera gear is here. My laptop, like everything that I needed to be able to travel successfully was there, hands down. And I was honestly, it was a blessing in disguise when the van ate the deer because I now no longer have a car payment. And I found a $900 Jeep and I bought it knowing I would have to put some money into it. And I would much rather put the money into it and get it dialed in for safety. And I have a camper. I have a small little camper now. So I've always slept at the track and it just makes sense. I like even in the van, I always slept at the track. I was like, fuck around and find out. We'll figure it out. So I get that. And I've done the long trips too. When we did Lime Rock, I drove from Florida. I was in Titusville, Florida. I drove from Florida up to Lime Rock, just straight through.
Oh, wow.
And I think it took me a day. it just in
That's
kind of
about
like
right.
total time. Yeah, it took me like a day, and I do it again. It wasn't bad, and it was an experience. So I think, like with most things, you're gonna get from it what you want. You know what I mean? Or you're gonna learn you don't want it, whichever way you want to look at it. You mentioned CMD, Catch My Drift. Talk to us about that, because I actually think I'm going to try to catch one of those this year.
Yeah, no, their Sofa King Awesome series was 4 rounds. He paid over $40,000 in cash prizes, as well as all the other stuff, or cash money, plus having prizes for the series as well. I know he gave away some stage wheels, tires from Nova, KBD bot. He gave, I mean, I think it was like over 50 grand worth of stuff total for all 4 rounds. So yeah, no, he wants me back there again. We have a street event already on our calendar. So like a street legal style.
Okay.
He wants to host at SMS in November. He hasn't come out with his schedule yet. I mean,
Right.
I'm very privy to his knowledge. I'm not going to speak on it. So look out for the CMD.
Sure.
Look out for the CMD schedule very, very shortly.
Now, you mentioned earlier a driver program that you're crewing for. Is that for Jacob, or is that for somebody else?
Jacob, yeah.
Okay. All right. Do you want to talk about that while we're on, or is that something you can't talk about at the moment?
No, I'm very fortunate to be a part of his program, Duncan Motorsports. We started talking about just trying to be able to see what we can do for each other. Toolworks, my brand, is actually sponsoring his program as well. So kind of be able to not only be on the car and through social media, but also helping them with operations and logistics is kind of where I fit in. He does have a good amount of people that are already on top of his program. Everybody's very, very excited. We're very, very, very busy. We're already kind of in the thick of it. He's got a lot of stuff. There are some changes to the FD season that I think people are going to be excited to hear about, but I won't take any spoilers on that.
That's fine.
But yeah, no, I mean, we're there. 3 of the 4 tracks are brand new to everybody. So realistically, it could be anyone's game this year.
Yeah, that makes it interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll be going to Atlanta, Connecticut, Indianapolis, and Las Vegas.
A lot of people were upset about Jersey. I heard there were a lot of people that were very heartbroken about Jersey.
There's a lot of stuff going on at E-Town, unfortunately, and
yeah,
I mean, I know Chris, I know Mike, great dudes, and they're fighting a battle, unfortunately, and they've been fighting that battle for a couple of years now.
Yeah, well, and it's talking about that, like kind of like what we've got happening with the transition for like even Panthera right now. We're seeing a lot of that with the racetracks. Which one was it that the National Racing Association just bought?
IHRA has been buying tracks left and right. They bought Rockingham. They bought something out in Topeka. I mean, they bought like 5 tracks in the last.
Rockingham Rockingham, I think, is the one that I'm thinking of. That's the one that came across my feed. But I'm seeing a lot of this with the tracks where they're either recovering and they're making money, or they're slowly either backsliding or flatlining, and then they're all questioning selling. The drawback I'm seeing with the selling option is most people want the tracks to go away because of the noise. And I'm like, but look, you knew that track was there before your house was there or before you bought it. So let's talk about that. But I'm seeing it a lot in different spaces where some tracks are realizing they have to change up from what they've been doing for years upon years to bring income in differently than what they're used to. And some tracks are just like, I don't feel like doing it anymore. And then they don't really care what happens or who buys it, or, and it's interesting to see, because the people who go to it are fighting, but the people who own it are tired.
Yeah, I mean, especially when tracks are usually owned by a family or some sort of a family business or something. It's been with them for X amount of years.
That's fair.
Notably, you had Pit Race. They closed, unfortunately. Palm Beach International Raceway. There was actually Palm Beach International Raceway in Florida. That was
No,
trying to be reopened. What?
Weren't they trying to save Pitt as well too?
There was a whole Save Pitt campaign, but I mean, they've been very, very adamant that it is not going to go back to racing. They're going to be developing that.
Okay. I got you. Hang on just a second.
Yeah.
See, Booster said we're going to be at Georgia to cheer on Jacob and team. And then Andy said IHRA has been going wild.
Yeah, it seems like they got a blank checkbook. I'll be honest. I saw them when I was at PRI. I ran into a couple of people from IHRA, and they're very friendly, and it was kind of cool to kind of hear both sides of everything. But I mean, they want to see the sport be monetized, and just like how NASCAR owns a couple of circle tracks, why can't IHRA own a couple of circle tracks? So there's
right.
Understanding. PDRA, Professional Drag Racing Association, they are huge at Dinwiddie, which is Virginia Motorsports Park up the road. NHRA does an event there as well. I think in June is when they're going to be there. But
I've only been to VMP, I feel like once, and that was for. Was it what's the TV show? The Street is it Outlaws No Prep or something like that?
Yeah, Street Outlaws, the No Prep Kings.
Yeah, that's what it was. My parents loved them and watched them, so we went to an event. I like drag racing, but sometimes it all looks like the same thing because you're just literally doing like the same thing down the track. So it's like unless you really have a car that's just so wildly different, I'm not built for a whole day of it. Attention span wise.
That's fair. I mean, some people say the same thing about drifting. They're saying they're doing the same course over and over. It's like, doesn't it get boring? But
well, they say the same thing about NASCAR too.
Yep.
But everybody for NASCAR be like, we're just waiting for the wreck. Like they're waiting for the trauma. I don't know. Right. But it's one of those things where, like road racing, for example, it's really hard to make road racing look sexy from a media perspective, because they're just like, all I hear is like baby shark to do like that's what it looks like to me, because they're doing their thing. Now there is skill involved, but you don't know there's skill involved unless you know what the car feels like.
Right.
So when you're looking at it from the outside, unless your car just looks super cool, it's really hard to make other people understand why they might want to show up and hang out for the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We need to turn motorsports into like football tailgating. Like we need to pregame it or something. I don't know.
I mean, if you've ever been to a NASCAR race, they tailgate
hard. But they're so hardcore about it. And I think that's what I mean is there's some things that people are so hardcore over. NASCAR is one of them. Like I've never seen that die out. Like you see the shift kind of like we were talking about like with drag, but NASCAR fans are diehard fans. They're like football fans. I'm like, how we get those people for drifting? Like, how we get them? Because like we need that energy some days from the stand.
I mean, these FD events, we partied hard at E-Town this last year, and I mean, if you look at the live stream, people are out there going crazy.
Jersey's weather, we're talking about hyper fast, but Jersey was like cursed or something. I don't know what happened that weekend, but it was like everything that could go wrong did go wrong.
Yeah, me and Sammy were walking around on Thursday, and it was right after qualifying, and no lie, we saw a plane take off from the local airport doing one of these numbers, maybe 500 feet up in the air, and then 30 seconds later it hits. And I'm over there, it's me, it's her, I'm over there at Connor O'Sully's thing, holding down his canopy with his dad. His mom is down there trying to put the car cover on. Like, it was exactly as bad as everyone thinks it was, maybe even worse. So yeah, that was terrible.
I believe that. I actually, because Nate was there, Ryan was there, so I checked it with Ryan. I'm like, hey, are you guys good? And he's like, we paid attention to the weather. Because we didn't put it up, we took it down. I was like, okay, just checking. They actually weren't at the track when it happened. Apparently something went wrong with Nate's car. They fixed it. and they went somewhere to go test it that wasn't specifically at the track. So they weren't even there when the whole weather event happened, but they had prepared for the fact that they knew weather was coming in. And like, tell me you're prepared without telling me you're prepared. Like, it's just that couldn't have gone any better.
No, they got lucky.
It wasn't even just the weather, like the drivers too. Like that was when Shell got flipped. And then there was somebody else. There were two other people. Like there was one that like drove over the other one, if I remember correctly. It was like they went up on the side. I can't remember who it was.
Nick Jimenez hit Colette, and then Colette went up a Jersey wall. And then I believe James Dean ran over Rome Charpentier at the finish line.
That I was gonna say that was, I think, the third one that happened. Like it was just like every time I opened my phone, I'm like, what is happening in New Jersey this weekend?
Yeah. It was, and then Utah, the same thing. You know, Shelley gets wrecked out, and then Matt Field and Dylan Hughes have their car. You know, no stepbrother car. Like, I mean, it's whole situation.
Yeah, well, I mean, but that's kind of it. I mean, when you reach that level of drifting at those speeds, it doesn't really take much. Like something could break on the car, and it doesn't take much because there's only so much you can do with it, like in that moment. And there's some things you just have no control over when they break. Actually, I think when we were on our way to Lime Rock, Ryan had a moment where I think he was testing something on the car, doing a demo or something. I don't remember what it was off the top of my head, but he was doing a parking lot run with the car. I don't remember what broke. I think it was a tie rod, but something broke. So where he was in a turn, he was all of a sudden not in a turn because the thing that was supposed to help him turn wasn't there any longer. You know, so we had to stop and get that fixed before we made the last leg of the trip. But it was just, you just never know.
It happens.
It does. It does. And that's why you trailer your car and you don't drive it there.
Yes. No, I learned the hard way. Never street drive another event. And yeah, life is good.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if nobody has any questions for Chris, I'm going to let him go since I've taken like almost 2 hours of his evening, but I'll leave it open for a minute and see if anybody has any questions. Is there anything that we didn't cover for you that you want to let everybody know for the year?
Not really. I mean, again, stay tuned to the socials. For those of you that didn't listen earlier in the chat, we're going to be going from Southampton Motorplex on our social medias back to Southampton Motor Speedway. SouthamptonMotorspeedway.com is open, so you can be able to go there, and we are constantly updating the website. So we're going to be adding on a booking option for the Toolworks Drift Ed on there. We are also going to be having more information on the private rentals. I've got contracts. We've got a bunch of cool things coming out this year, so stay tuned on that. As far as things I can plug, if it's cool for me to do that now.
Sure, go for it.
Yeah, I want to be able to thank Zeknova US Tires, Stage Wheels, Glow Toad Lighting, Livery Delivery. Obviously, Toolworks, Styles Fabrication. If you guys like podcasts, like what we're just watching, I also host a podcast called The Dirt Drop. It is on YouTube, and we just actually started uploading back episodes onto Buzzsprout.
Oh, good.
So I'm working that angle. So we interview professional drivers, industry leads, judges, anyone from around the world that's associated with drifting at all levels. And we focus solely on grassroots drifting and how to be able to get into the sport. So give us a like and a share. We've got about 20 episodes up right now over on YouTube. And then obviously we're on the socials at The Dirt Drop on Instagram and Facebook. I am at Debo the Comic on Instagram and Chris Debord on Facebook. So, yeah.
So talking about grassroots, if you could give advice to somebody who thinks they want to start drifting, and don't just say, get the car and go drive. Don't say that.
Yeah.
If you could give advice, what would your first piece of advice to somebody who wants to get a car and get started?
Buy something that's proven. Don't try to be special, reinvent the wheel, and think you're going to be super cool and LS swap your Ford Focus. Like, just get something that's either an already set up drift car or a car that has a platform to where you can buy drift car parts for it. Because if you don't, you're going to spend more time fixing than driving, more times or more money than actually, going towards the car than actually driving it on track. And you're probably not going to have as much fun in the sport.
Well, and I would add to that from what I've seen, because I'm in the passenger seat often, so I see hands and bodies. I have seen, and Andy can attest to this now that he has the Wives Fab kit on his car. Sometimes it's better to decide what the dialed in car looks like to start with, so that you are not fighting the car that you start with, because that's what I see a lot of times is people want to progress, but they're literally fighting their steering wheel. They're fighting their car, trying to do the thing that they're trying to learn. So I can't say from drift experience being behind the wheel doing the drifting, but I can say from the passenger seat, what I see very often is usually somebody fighting their steering wheel.
Yeah, modify your car progressively. Don't just go out and buy Wisefab and Turbo and LS and it just, you have to go in increments to be able to progress properly.
Yeah, I agree. And I think too, and I think this is Brian Brewington. I think what he did originally was, I think he worked with what he had, but he realized it was better to buy something that was somewhat built already for drifting, that had a good base that he could add onto once he figured out what he needed as a driver, which I thought was really smart, because you can find certain things on the marketplace. You don't have to buy the $5,000 or $10,000 car. There's probably something out there and somebody like letting one go that needs a little bit of love, if you can put the little bit of love into it. So
yeah, no, I mean, the deals are out there. You just got to keep your nose to the ground.
Yeah, absolutely. And you probably know somebody who knows somebody, because that's what I see all the time. You'll talk to somebody and be like, yeah, I know a guy. You're like, okay.
You can build a drift car just by having the right friends who have parts on their shelf they haven't touched in a decade.
Amen to that. Amen to that. And some of them like really make a hustle out of it. Like that River does stuff with BMW parts all the time.
Yeah.
Like he's always on the lookout, and he's got stuff stocked. And if you need it, he's usually got it. If that's your side hustle, that's your side hustle. And then you have your own stuff for your own BMW, you're good. Actually, I guess that would be another question for you. Some people will go, start with a BMW. Some people don't do that, start with this. Based on your own experience so far, what would you recommend somebody try to start with if they decided to throw their money at something?
I mean, the GZ stuff is a no-brainer for me, just because I've got 350Z, I got G35 Coupe, and a G35 sedan, all in different variations of use. And just because I've been very familiar with that chassis, because I started with an S14 in 2007 when, drifting was very, very, new. But then I went essentially to nut to, whatever. Then I went right to a freaking FD in 2011. Now, Wisefab, there was no Wisefab. There was Justin Pollock had cut knuckles from Hotline Performance, for if you're old enough to remember that, when he was still drifting his FC before he had the Mustang iterations when he was with Falcon. So again, I was reinventing the wheel. And by the time I got rid of that, then I had a Soarer, and then I got into the G, and then did the Corvette stuff. So yeah, BMW, E36, E46, ZG. I would stay away from Miata just because it's a little bit underpowered. But someone mentioned FRS BRZ. If you can get one of those, they're pretty well equipped and pretty good on power as well.
Yeah, you mentioned the Miata. The weekend event that I was just at this past weekend probably had like a good 8 to 10 Miatas, and I think people just like the look of them because they're kind of ridiculous doing the drifting because they're so tiny. I always worry about the Miatas because they are tiny, especially if they're not caged right of way or convertible. Because the convertibles, if you want to lose your head, okay. We need safety measures. Thank you. Well, with some of the Miatas, you can be taller than the Miata if you're not careful. I've seen it. But I see the appeal in it from like that beginner stage, even if it is underpowered because you're trying to figure it out. But at the same time, my own brain, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, is if you look at what the not the max on like an FD car, but like the average on an FD car versus what you could get away with the lowest speed, what's the good sweet spot in the middle to shoot for? I think that would be where my brain would go for it. Is like, I don't know that I want to go at like that like low end. I want to shoot for somewhere in the middle that's going to let me level up when I'm ready to level up, but I don't have to use it right away.
Exactly. Yeah, no, the progression. I mean, Miatas are just maxed out at a certain point. Nothing against people that are driving them. They are really fun. They're really cool. Not at all. I just see people could get discouraged faster if they're trying to progress. If they want to start out in a Miata. That's all.
That's fair. That's fair. I feel like I had another question for you when we started down that rabbit hole. I could be wrong. ADHD at its finest.
Yeah, it happens.
Squirrel. Oh, I guess that's it because I don't remember what my question was. There's one. It's back here somewhere, but I can't.
This has been fun. This has been. I really appreciate you having me on tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I was glad when you reached out. I was like, yes, get to hang out because I only get to see people like briefly, and so sometimes that's really annoying because there's some people I would like to get to know a little bit better. But hi, love you, bye. You know, as the driver's going on the track and I'm going on the track, and then like we might pass each other at the bathroom. Or something might break and I might actually get to stop and say hi to them and then hope they're not trying to wrench on something while I'm trying to be like, hey, how are you? Love you. Miss you. Okay, bye. You know.
It's tough.
But Ivan, if you're still in the chat, I need to know the date. I will be there. I love me a good steak. So I'm ready.
For sure. For sure. No, yeah, I had a lot of fun. Right. Yeah, I have a great rest of your night. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and we will see you at Southampton Motor Speedway.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
And then that's it.
All right, end it there, and then I end the stream.